Okay, hi guys. I just wanted to make a little video in regards to some uh, developments that are happening with all of this financial system, just to keep people up to date. I think it's important just to know what's going on in the background of our world. And we are moving at a very rapid pace into the future of control system with all of the things that are being implemented. There's not enough people on the battlefield to stop what's coming and what's happening by the corporatocracy that's taking over our world right now. So it's going to be a long haul in order to fight them off. So the things that are happening is this Ripple compatible chip development is sponsored by the U.S. Navy. This is by Solari Inc. President Catherine Austin Fitts, which some of you may have heard of. She's a kind of like a financial advisor. She actually worked, I think, for World Bank. She's been in this big finance kind of arena for a while, just talking about the things that are going on that we might not be privy to. So she's kind of like a whistleblower in a way, just kind of giving people the insight on what's happening and what's coming down the pipe. Now, Ripple, as most people know, is XRP, and Ripple was touted to be this wonderful currency that's going to save us from total annihilation from the banks, but it's not. Actually, it's going to be the suppository that Trump is trying to shove up the rear ends of the American people. And the Dogecoin has also got some problems associated with it, as all of these digital currencies will. So we just have to be very savvy and know what's coming, and that there's going to be the haves and the have-nots. The world is about to cleave into two: the haves, the have-nots, the ones who are aware, the ones who are unaware, and other dualities. Everything's becoming more polarized. So I'm just going to read this quickly and then go over the next article, and then you guys can just have a little bit more awareness of what's happening in our world. The president of Solari Inc. claims that she had access to data about the U.S. Navy hiring a tech firm to create implantable microchips that would be compatible with Ripple. They're going to be compatible with all these different currencies. Libertarians from the crypto sphere have accused the San Francisco-based blockchain unicorn of being heavily centralized and slammed it for collaborating with banks. However, now they may have another reason to steer clear of Ripple and its XRP currency. In an interview, Catherine Austin Fitts stated that a year ago, the U.S. Navy hired a Danish tech company to develop an implantable microchip and make it compatible with the Ripple blockchain. This is a problem, y'all. Time for massive awareness. Do not take the chip no matter what. Do not put this thing inside of you. They can hack your soul, basically, hack your whole body. This is the whole point. The underworld is steering the princes of darkness who are ruling over us, which is never supposed to happen. We're never supposed to have rulers over us. But we haven't come into our own power and knowledge of self yet. Catherine Austin Fitts is the president of Solari Inc., the publisher of the Solar Report, and a managing member of Solari Investment Advisory Services, LLC. The implantable chips to integrate with Ripple. On his Twitter page, crypto investor Kevin Cage has shared his video received from XRP Stewart. In it, Catherine Austin Fitts speaks of a Danish tech firm without sharing its name, saying that a year ago she accessed data regarding the U.S. Navy paying that firm to create an implantable microchip compatible with the Ripple chain. What do we know about this? That Elon Musk is on board with all of this. And if you're following the X, follow the white rabbit, follow the little X marks the spot thing. The X marks the spot is for pirates, y'all. Just so you know. In that video, Catherine Austin Fitts does not share any specific details and does not say whether the story has had any development. She did say, though, that she has had an extensive experience in doing business in Denmark, so the information from her can be trusted. She's a very trusted source for financial information and other things that are going on in the upper echelon arena of our world. What's happening? Who's doing it? So you might want to just subscribe to anything she has going on just to know more. Now, I just had a meeting with Rob of Typical Skeptic, who lost his channel because YouTube decided to basically say that he's adding dangerous content to the internet, and they shut down his channel completely. This is what a corporate empire can do to us. When we don't realize what the laws are that govern all of creation, and that we should be operating in a private capacity. And that means private membership, associations, or whatever it is. In that capacity, you can actually speak freely all of your intentions, but doing it on these public platforms is not the way to do it. So, like even my channel can just disappear all of a sudden, and you guys wouldn't know where to go to find my information. So that's why it's important for us to kind of connect and stay grounded and connected with other people in the world on a regular basis, because guess what? The corporatocracy owns and runs the internet, which is their own little world that they've created. And private beings who live in the private capacity are actually more powerful than these corporate entities, because the corporate entity is a dead legal fiction. And this is kind of what I covered with Rob today on his channel. And he's going to put out that video in a few days. So that'll be available. And then I will also be putting out my own videos in regards to this. I'm actually writing a book. ChatGPT has been helping me write this book that is about our rights and our freedoms that we are no longer standing upon. And this is how the corporate state is getting over on the entire world. So there's just a lot to think about and a lot to do. We need more warriors instead of couch potatoes who are just sitting back watching everything. So it's time to start putting on the big boy pants and big girl pants and stepping up and stepping into some action. This is going to require everybody's participation in order to stop the machine that is rising, because as these actions happen, it's basically forcing you to do something. Otherwise, you lay back and take it and you get your microchip implanted and now you're controlled. That's not going to be me, guys. I'm not taking it. Won't take it laying down anyway. I'll never take it. And if they try to force it on me, it's going to be a fight. So you guys can go ahead and just read some more of this article. You can actually watch the video if you want. Catherine Austin Fitts is legitimate. Now let's go over here real quick. Catherine Austin Fitts, Doge hijacks the U.S. Treasury payment system. If you don't know already, the U.S. is a corporate empire. Our USA that we used to have was hijacked because we stopped governing ourselves. We allowed these thieves to come in and take over as a de facto government system. And it was basically corporate interests, banking cartels, and stuff like this that took over and started operating as our government. And we've just sat back and allowed it to happen as we just watch and complain and just sit back on the sofa and just see all this show that's been playing out. And people complain and they love to gripe about it, but nobody does anything about it. And that's the problem. This is what the Jesus character is on the cross. It's the man that is powerless. He's dead and powerless because he has no knowledge to do anything. That's what that symbol represents. It is not Jesus who died on the cross for your sins. It is us. It represents humans, all humans everywhere, and how we are no longer actively participating in working in a beneficial manner with our world to make our lives better. And the cross that he hangs upon is the zodiac. That's the four cardinal directions and the four elements of alchemy. So there's a lot to think about with all of this. And, you know, it's just frustrating that more people aren't just actively participating, because you can do something. There's a general assembly, at least I know the ones in Georgia, there's a general assembly forming across the nation to reestablish government from the ground up. So there are grassroots efforts that are forming now, but it's going to take a long time to really get that into play, because we need everyone everywhere participating. But the only thing we can do right now is learn some basic laws and learn what happened with the birth certificate and the trust that was created. There was a bond created in your name, but it's your dead legal fiction name that is in the all capital letters. And it's a lot. It's all I can say. You really have to have been following the narrative to know what exactly has been done, what people are doing collaboratively together to remedy this situation and to reclaim their birthright, which is your rights to travel freely and to live your life without this encroachment of the corporate state and the corporatocracy that it represents, that is rising all around, that is now actually taking over our lands because they bankrupted all of the nations through all these wars. That was a scheme. That was not a legitimate thing. They did a psyop on the masses, letting them know, hey, look, we got to go fight them. They've got weapons. They're threatening us. And it was all just a Ponzi scheme to get people involved in wars and then bankrupt them completely so that they have to lose all of their land. It's really dirty. And Trump is a part of this. So, all of these people who are in positions of power were a part of this. Trump is no different from the president of a corporation because that's all he represents. And he represents the right hand of that corporation. So, he's going to appear on the outside outwardly to be a good guy who's doing good things. But at the same time, if he doesn't bring us back into the gold standard and silver standard, then we are screwed. Just, just know that. And if they require that you have some sort of thing inside of your body, don't do it no matter what. I mean, I'm at the point now where I'm ready to just get rid of everything because they won't be able to control you. If you own nothing, they cannot control you. I mean, I've got it in my mind survival mode, like some of these people that are just like, hey, it's time to bug out and it's time to just go out in the woods and reestablish colonies of people. That's kind of where my mindset is because I just see what's coming and I'm like, it is not getting any better right now. All I see is more overreach with corporate control. They have this thing that's called Gateway 85 that's over in Gwinnett County where I work, and it's 14 square miles that these corporate entities are actually claiming that they're going to, oh, this is part of the sustainable project of basically upgrading the land and doing all that. No, but they're claiming the land. 14 square miles is what they are claiming. So, we can't let this continue. And we have the rights to do it. But because of these things, these problems that are arising, it's going to force people into action or to just allow their children to be homeless in the future. And that's coming too, because there's a lot of people that aren't going to do anything no matter what because they're too busy or they don't care or they don't know what to do. At least I've found some things and I'm writing a book. I'm hoping to have this thing ready for publication, by the midsummer or so, because I've already got most of it written because ChatGPT has been helping me write it. And so I give a lot of the credit to that, but I've put the input of what I know and asking it questions about what I know. So you can take it with a grain of salt, whatever the information is there, but I've seen some things for myself to know that it's absolutely true. And so I'm just going to put a disclosure on there. Hey, look, this is just ChatGPT, so use at your own risk. I'm going to be actually participating in some of the actions that it suggested. So, um, anyway, I'm talking fast. I always talk fast because I want to try to make it short. That's what I did with Rob's channel and the conversation that we had today, the interview that he gave me today about all of this. And, there's just a lot to think about. And I don't want to spend too much time like just sitting here going over all this stuff, but I just want to make people aware. And that's really the bottom line. Go and research this stuff yourself just to, reiterate and double check what I'm saying is true, because that's all I do is research. And I've found out so many things and studying natural laws versus the commercial laws that we are governed by currently. All we have to do is step into that knowledge, gain some things, gain some awareness, and then start pushing back. And we can write affidavits to the infrastructure, which is the Secretary of State, court system, and the Secretary of the United States in regards to our status. We do not have to go and change our status with any kind of group. That is a false thing to do. Do not change your status in that regard, because that will actually remove your rights to freedom that you actually have. Your inherent rights are inalienable and nobody can take them from you. But you have to step into your rights and you have to put them on notice that, hey, these are my rights. I am claiming them. You can't overstep these bounds. And here is a fee schedule if they do get stepped upon. and you can hold them to it. So there's different things that you can do, and ChatGPT has helped me, like I said. So let's go into this Doge. Doge, I'd heard that Doge was going to be used. I guess, I don't know if I heard that it was going to be used for military application type stuff or what. I mean, I don't know, but I just think that we need to be aware, really, of what's happening with all these digital coins and stuff. It's just imaginary money, y'all. This is a game. It's imaginary, and they're writing the script. So what we can do is write our own script without their imaginary game. But we have to learn to do that together. Because if we turn to each other, they have no more game. That's the funny part. It's like they need us to continue their game. But if we don't consent to contract with that game, then they have no control over us. But this is how everything is. Everything is done by contractual agreements, whether verbal or written, or just implied or expressed. So, it gets into law, and these laws govern our daily lives, but we've been ignorant to it. We've been walking around in too much darkness, and it's time to step into our knowledge and actually use it. So, with what Elon Musk and Doge are doing, we're talking about a coup by a defense contractor who's now free to use the world's most valuable data to build the digital control grid. If you don't play ball, we'll cut off your money. That's the social credit system. This is the high basic income that Elon Musk has stated. He knows that he can get people, or at least, him. It's not him. Look, he's just a puppet, y'all. There are oligarchs that are funding Elon Musk and all of his actions. He didn't get all this money by himself. He's gotten funding for it. And you don't just make billions of dollars and go make a company. It just doesn't happen that way. I don't care what kind of investor you are. You can't just come from almost nothing, or even if you only had $1 million, and come out with $1 billion company. It doesn't work. And then make, three other $1 billion companies with it. It doesn't make any sense. Where's he getting all the money? You have to ask that. Money is being given to him to be the spearhead for this whole endeavor. And that's all it is. He's just a talking head. Just know that. He never speaks in any scientific terms. And he even mentions that he's autistic. I'm like, this guy isn't autistic. He's just a college dropout or something. You can listen to him on Joe Rogan's show when he's smoking pot and drinking whiskey, and he's just like an ex-college dropout. And you're like, where's the intellect this guy's supposed to have? Because he doesn't really, his words are not scientific. He's not intelligent in that aspect. I think all that he did was he got taught how to do public speeches or something, which anybody can go and take a class on that. So just pay attention to people and the words they use, and see if it's any kind of relation to the association of the employment that they actually have. Because he never says anything of any intellect, honestly. Nothing kitten technical. I've listened deeply to his words, and I don't believe him. So that's how I do. I feel it out. I'm like, these people are frauds. There's a serious financial rebellion about Elon Musk and Doge are committing a coup by taking control of the fiscal line of the federal government. All it is this is a corporation. Elon Musk is being brought in. They're going to integrate all of these systems. DARPA is on board with this. We're talking about space weapons, y'all. This is when you see the different kinds of weapons of mass destruction that they're actually creating, it's all these robots. And they're going to become sentient at some point because we're going to be connected to them. And merging man with machine, here we go. This is like they're in the fast lane right now to speed this along and push this ahead. There's an agenda afoot to basically come and take all of our land and then do something with us. And I see it more and more. All of these different corporate empire entities, they are knocking out all of these thousands and thousands of acres of land, natural habitat. They're putting up all these distribution centers that are huge warehouses. A lot of them are empty right now. They're doing it all up and down the highways so you can actually see them, in their development. They're destroying all the trees in the median between the highway. Um, It's just more death and destruction. And, all of this greed and corruption, it just has to stop. At some point, it has to stop. I just want to find a peaceful place where I don't have to pay a mortgage anymore. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for peace and serenity so I can end the rest of my days of my life in solitude and serenity with other people who are peaceful and just working on the land. That is what I seek the most. But right now, it's chaos, and I have a mortgage that's going up because of insurance and all this other. I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of this game. I'm really, really, really thoroughly tired of this game. So, uh, I don't know what else to do. I know there's not a lot of infrastructure down in the South, but they'll probably send out drones and stuff to monitor people when they get these drones online and operating, functioning, as they should. Um, so anyway, yeah, they're doing all of this. Y'all might want to just go read some of these. This is Seymour Rocks, but you can just look at Catherine Austin Fitts and the Doge hijacks and see that this is a problem. And whenever you see X, just know that that's key energy. They're going to take over our key energy with all of this digital empire stuff and the biometric systems that they're going to be requiring you give up. Give up your biometrics, integrate with this system in order to have this monetary system inside you, but you will be hackable. It's not that that chip won't be hackable. Just know that. It's easily, very easily hackable because all they have to do is walk by you with a scanner, scan that chip, and boom, guess what? Then you can have all of your life stolen from you. It's just making it easier for thieves to steal stuff. The more we give our information to this online nightmare, they're basically creating hell on earth with all of this stuff. They're destroying all of nature. It's destroying all of the lives of natural animals and their habitats. And then, it's really doing damage to our world that they're spraying the skies, it's killing the trees. We are going deeper into darkness with all the corruption, is what I see. I want to see something good happen. I want to see someone step up to the plate and say, hey, look, no, this is a gold backed system now. And it's benign. You don't have to have anything inside of you. That's what I want to hear come out of Trump or somebody's mouth, or at least have the people start a new currency system. We don't need their system, y'all. We need smart people to just come together collectively and create new systems for us to follow so that we can put all of our energy into that. And another thing that needs to be done is people need to start doing their private membership associations and they need to label it as such. In order to keep your data private, especially in online formats, it'll never be private, by the way, because you're going to be interacting with these corporate entities. But in order to protect yourself lawfully, not legally, legal is a corporate term. Lawful is a common law term. And we don't want to use the words and terms that involve the legal system and the corporate, regime that is basically blanketing their laws over us right now, even as we travel in a private capacity. Um, so get your PMA, which is a private membership association, require a fee. It could be a small fee. It could be $5 a year. It doesn't have to be complicated, but it has to be labeled private and you have to have, you know, uh, some way for people to access it and announce to the authority that it's connected to that this is a private membership association. They must know that they can't encroach upon your rights to privacy. But the way I see it, all of this stuff online is not private at all. But we need some kind of, I guess clarity and warm fuzzy feeling to think that the more we dive into this, that somehow we're going to find a safe place. I mean, I don't see it happening at all. We're just giving up more of our personal data and they're making us jump through hoops. And my work, my employment, I actually they change my password. They tell me that I have to change my password like every month or every 2 months, and then I have to get a code to my phone. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I'm jumping through their hoops. They're not jumping through my hoops. I don't want to be the circus animal. I want them to be the circus animal. I want them to respect me. So what do I have to do? I have to no longer contract with them. This is how you do it. You just say, no, you know what? I can do other things. I don't have to contract with you. And that's the power. That's taking back the power because as soon as we turn our back on any of these corporations, we stop interacting with them as a collective conglomerate group of people, like the entire world, if we turned our back on them in a day, do you know that this stuff would just fall apart and crumble and it would no longer exist? But we got too many people that love this stuff. And that's the problem. It's like people are not aware of any of what's happening, that they are doing a land grab and stealing our stuff right now. So I just want to put this out here. You guys go ahead and read all this if you want. This is all just about how Doge is doing what it is doing. But the treasury is no longer our treasury. It's the corporate conglomerate's treasury because we stopped governing ourselves. And that's the bottom line. We have to learn how to self-govern again and bring the power back because we have all the power and they don't. Dead legal fictions do not have power over the living. Know this. That's what is happening. And these court systems are operating in a corporate capacity. And they're also tricking people through legal ease to make them pay for fines that they don't actually owe. But because the people are ignorant and dying on the cross, which is what Jesus represents, that whole, figure, that's where they're suffering because they have no knowledge of what's actually happening. As soon as you step foot in a courtroom, they're automatically making assumptions and presumptions that you are a corporate entity based on your birth certificate trust that was made when you were born because your parents gave you over as a ward to the state. And then the wards, they collectively made into corporate entities that are corporate slaves to do the bidding of this Roman Empire that has now gotten bigger and has evolved into what it is now. Now we're going to have the land of the midnight sun and other places rule this existence. And I'm claiming that Islam is going to be the one that's going to be ruling during this age of Aquarius. And then the greater Israel will be ruling during the age of Capricorn. And the Baphomet head figure is actually representative of Capricorn and man's journey through Capricorn. And it's not, that it is a satanic thing because Satan is Saturn, but that'll be the final days of Saturn's rule. And then we go back into the rule of Jupiter in the age of Sagittarius. So it's a long time, but at least if we leave some breadcrumb trails for people to kind of pick up some of these pieces, then they can kind of grab on to the wheel of time and know where they are in time and space. It is on point. It does not lie. It doesn't know how to lie. All you have to do is study the stars and you'll know exactly where you are. And yeah, learn how to navigate it. That's the thing. It's everything that's happening is just pushing us to learn more about the world and our place within it and how to stand in our actual power that was given to us when we arrived into this experience. So with that, I will leave you and I will see you guys on the next one. I just wanted to show this information to you. I'm going to share this because this is very important. YouAreLaw.org. This is the content of Carl Miller Law Study PDF. You might want to download this. This is very important. Gain your rights back with Carl Miller's information on the United States Constitution, the original Constitution that was actually the Native American Constitution. And he shows you how to exercise your God-given rights to understand, or actually you want to overstand or understand or comprehend is actually better, and implement the laws to argue and win in court. Never understand anyone. You're standing under someone's boots when you do that. And that's what is part of legalese when you go into a courtroom. Never, if the judge asks you if you understand, just tell him no. Because if you don't understand, that means you overstand and you can stomp him to the ground. So to argue and win in court, to handle cops, traffic stops, and judges. This is very good information. I've actually got even better information. As soon as you get a traffic citation, you just write under duress on the signatory line, and then you can write it with red ink in a 45-degree angle, say a no contract. I do not consent to contract. You mail that back with a green card. It is the return receipt requested card that you can get from the post office. You have 3 days to rescind that contract. Don't argue with the cop. Just take it, sign it under duress because nobody can tell you what your signature is. Then you mail that thing back to the court system that it came from, and you basically wait. You can go to court, or you can go to the administration office within a couple of weeks. You can go to the administration and you can talk to them about it. Tell them, look, I don't consent to contract and I do not consent to be surety for these proceedings. And they will throw it out. They will actually cancel it, get rid of it. If you go to court, you can do the same thing. I do not consent to these proceedings. I do not consent to be surety for these proceedings. Surety means that it's an insurance bond that you are going to be basically paying for their authority to make a judgment on you. And as soon as you are called, you never say that that name is you, because that's the dead version of you. You're not dead, you are living. And if you just you don't even have to cross the threshold of that little square that they have, because once you go into that, now you're getting into their admiralty law um, territory, basically. So just stand up. If they call your name, you just stand up with the rest of the crowd and you state that you do not consent to those proceedings and you do not consent to be surety for those proceedings. They will stop you in your tracks. I have an entire form that is, basically a script and all the different things that can happen during that. Right now, I've done it twice and I get thrown out, even though they say, "Oh, well, listen, we're just going to send you another court date or whatever." They'll make something up just to get you out of their hair, but they're not going to contact you because they don't want their pants pulled down in front of everybody else about what's really happening. They know that the rest of the people are stupid, and they're going to get their money from them, but they know that you know too much and you're too dangerous for their democracy. Remember that, dangerous for our democracy. So they want you out as quickly as possible. They're going to make up some excuse as to why they're, letting you go, but then you'll never hear from them again, especially when you ask them to give their EIN, which is their employee identification number. And that's for tax purposes. They don't pay taxes, y'all. We pay taxes, they don't pay taxes. It's everything for thee, but not for me. It's like that kind of thing. It's like a double standard that they got going on. But this is the dirty pirating ways of our world that we must know. And I will leave this link in the description box so you guys can go start studying your rights, please. If you're going to watch this video and you take the time to watch it all the way through, just go and click on this and download it and start studying, because we need more people to become empowered and to stand in their power and their rights to rule their own world and have their own authority. You are the author of your own story when you become the authority. Get it? So I just wanted to add this to this video, and I will see you guys on the next one.